so this is part 2 of the fake friends. I actually was talking about Shannon and Jelani in the previous video, and that was 40 minutes, and then there was another 40 minutes, and then the video was just the camera was messing up, and it said too much storage and a lot of whatever. Then I went live, and that didn't process. So the continuation of fake friends. So yeah, basically I started talking about Keisha. So Keisha, like I said, she helped me with my first job. She helped me with my third job. She told me about a nonprofit that I worked for called City Year. If it wasn't for her, I would have never heard of City Year or Mercy College. She told me about Mercy College. I graduated last year, but I started in 07 fall, and I left because my father told me that he was not going to help me pay, and so I dropped out, and I felt bad because I'm like, dang, my father's not going to help me pay. And I ended up going back to school. I went to Mega Evers in 2011 and then Kingsborough, but I had math remedials, and then I dropped out of that, and then I finally went back to college in 2019, and I graduated last year. So like, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have known about Mercy College. City Year was a nonprofit under AmeriCorps, Bill Clinton. So she really was, when we was pregnant together, when I got pregnancy tested, I didn't have to go through it alone. I had her by my side, so she was a really good friend. And I think what happened is I didn't have the resources and the knowledge that she had, and so I wasn't able to reciprocate at the time. The only thing I was good for is I paid for her bachelorette party, and I was in her wedding. But I think she became frustrated and started talking about me. She started talking about me to this girl that was both jealous of me and her. And, she would say things to me that I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I thought she was just looking at my Facebook and just whatever, because back in my 20s especially, every time I went out, I would post it. So she was saying things like, oh, you get to just go out whenever you want to and this and that. I said, yeah, so? Like, why is you hating? But then she would say things about, because I did TurboTax back in 2010. So, and I remember telling Keisha, so the same friend that she had inboxed me and was like, oh, you did TurboTax, da-da-da. I didn't mind, but that was a red flag that she was talking about me. So I'm like, well, why are you? And then she would say things like, well, you get to go out anytime you want and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, so? Like, why is she? But I'm not thinking that this girl is talking about me to her. I'm just thinking she's looking at my Facebook. You could look at my Facebook and see I have a life. Because I used to be like that. Every time I went out, I always posted it. Now I kind of slowed down. I still post it, but not as much. And I don't go out as much. Like, now I probably go out. Like, March was a busy month for me. But this month, April, like, I'm going out tomorrow. I don't think I'll post it. Now, my friend, she might post it because that's her brother's birthday. But, yeah, I don't really post that much as often. Like, I went out March 4th with my friends to the Met. I didn't post that. I went to the museum with my family on the actual day of my birthday, the night before I went to Sip and Chat. I went to the spa. I posted that on YouTube for 10 seconds. So I don't really post each and everything because I know that people watching me. I know that I have stalkers. So, Facebook and what I went through, I know that people are constantly watching me. So I don't like that. So I don't post each and everything because people are weird like that. She was one of them. So, yeah, so it was hurtful. She was like, she came out of a clear blue sky and she was like, oh, you're negative about everything and I think I'm gonna have to cut you off. And I'm like, what? But she was doing that because she knew she was talking about me and she knew she wasn't shit. And it's just like a relationship when a guy might say, oh, it's not you, it's me. But then you find out later on he was doing his dirt or whatever. People know when they're doing their dirt and they'll start to do weird stuff. Or they know that they're jealous of you, so they can't come out and say, I'm jealous of you. Some people will come out and say that. Like, she told me that. She told me she had a dream that she was jealous of me. I'm like, what the? And it's funny because she had more than me. She had a good husband, house, career, car, everything that the American dream. So it's like, you hating on me, there's nothing to hate on. Like, I feel like anybody who's jealous of me, you really need to get your life. Like, I'm not saying my life is so horrible, but it's like, I just got my bachelor's. I live in housing. I'm single. Yeah, I go out, but that's basic. Like, you jealous because I go out, I have a life. That's a choice. And I remember she used to say, and I would tell anybody, any female, and I'm talking to my ladies specifically, if a girl tells you, I don't have friends and I don't want friends, stay away from her and believe her. Because she was that chick. I don't want friends. I don't need friends. I'm like, okay. I actually put it up on Facebook, the same thing I just said. If a chick tell you whatever, and she took it, she thought I was talking about her. And she's like, well, I don't want friends. I don't need friends. I'm like, yo, this post's not even about you. But if the shoe fits, so yeah. But I don't regret the friendship because I needed her at that time. She definitely was a blessing in my life. If it wasn't for her, I can honestly say, I don't know what my first job would have been. And I could be brutally honest. From the first time I started looking for a job, I was 16 and I didn't know how to apply for SYEP, and my parents didn't know either. They didn't really mingle with people. Like, my father had friends, but his friends are all men. So they didn't, men don't talk about SYEP or whatever, and then my mom had no friends at all. So certain things my parents couldn't help me with because they just didn't know. Both my parents, college dropouts. So when it came to like things about college, they couldn't help me and they didn't want to. That's, they feel very negative towards college. Like, they feel like it's a waste of time, whatever. Cool. So I didn't have guidance like how most people have their parents to guide them on things. I didn't have that. I had her, and other friends as well that came into my life to teach me about financial aid. That taught me, hey, you got a kid now, so that's a dependent. You could get some financial aid. And I really thank God for them. Even the place where I live, there was a friend that put me on, and I really thank God for friends. I really thank God for that, and I'm able to be a better parent to my son and, help him out better than, my parents didn't help me out at all in my adult life, and I had to figure it out on my own, which most of us do, but, I don't regret my friendship with her. She came into my life in a time that I needed her, and it was good, I used to go to the house for Sunday dinners, and her family was Trini, and that's what really got me with the West Indian food. Like, you never had home cooked West Indian Trini food, you're missing out in life. And after her, Trini, like, that's all I know is Trinis and Jamaicans. I love them. Gotta love them. But I will say this, in your friendships, people come into your life for a reason and a season. I don't regret Jelani, Shannon, or Keisha. I wish them well in life. And the funny thing is, with Jelani, even when we weren't talking, he purchased my book. And I thought that was something. That even when we weren't speaking, a small part of him still cared about me. And I know when I come out with my next book, he's going to purchase it. He's probably watching this. Hi. So people come into your life for a reason and a season, and sometimes a lifetime. But I could truly say that I don't regret either three of them. We had good times. We had really good times. The concerts, every play, everything I did with them. And Keisha was more of a homebody, so we didn't go out. Like, we literally, every time I saw her was in her house. It was either her parents' house or her house. And so she was definitely a homebody. And I'm that type of friend. I'll meet you at home. You a homebody? Okay, that's cool. And that was the disconnect, because I accepted her for who she was and she didn't accept me for who I was. Just differences. And it's unfortunate because our kids could have grew up together. Our kids actually went to the same uncommon, just different areas. But it is what it is. And God always sent people in my life that I needed. When Shannon was exiting, my new 2 friends that I have now, they were entering. Right after Jelani, I got more friends. Like, I have more friends now than I did before. So yeah, those are my thoughts.